Welcome back, everybody. If you're seeing this intro, that means we had to split this into two videos, and we're going on to 2021. Here comes 2021. We're over halfway through our journey through Jam the Radar. 6 bottles, 6 beers, all of the raspberries and loves and chocolates right here.
Don't smell anything. It smells like a stout.
That's kind of why I made that face when I handed it to you. This one, to me, smells the most woody out of all of the ones that we've had thus far.
Oh.
The others, I've smelled chocolate. I've smelled syrupy raspberry. I've smelled mellow raspberry. This one, to me, is the most wood and oakiness I've smelled out of all of them.
Yeah, I don't get any raspberry on there. I just get a normal stout. Barrel-aged stout.
Yeah, I get a tiny bit of chocolate if I really get my nose in there. But honestly, you really got to look for it here. Now, what I remember from this year is not liking as much as 2020. We'll see how the years have done to it. This is now a 2-year-old beer.
You know, there is a lot of... Oh my gosh, I think I like this most. I really enjoy this beer. At the beginning, it's very smooth, chocolatey, barrel-aged stout. And then after you swallow, there's a little bit of raspberry. And it's not the fake shit that's in 2017.
Oh, wow.
It's actually legit raspberry, it tastes like.
It is a smoother intro. I do get chocolate, but the chocolate's not as intense as 2020 for me.
Mm-mm.
I'm having a hard time finding that raspberry. I feel like there's a little bit in there, but I'm really having a hard time finding it.
Chew it.
Alrighty. While I chew it, gets the alcohol.
This isn't as much as 2020. I think they went big for 2020 because, well, they didn't know 2020 was going to be a wash. I think it's like a 14.72. I don't know.
14.56.
Alright, well, same, whatever. I told you guys I'm already out the game. I'm retired already.
I'm having trouble finding the raspberry on this one.
You're wild. I get a little bit of it. It's very subtle at the end after you swallow it.
I get a little bit at the end.
But I like that because, as you know, raspberries are so hard to do in a beer and a stout. I think that they very much lend themselves to a cider or like a... What are White Claws?
Seltzer.
A seltzer. That's their jam. No pun intended. But this did it really well. Like, it's very subtle at the end, and it's not overpowering, and it doesn't taste fake. I like 2021. I'll give it a 4.75.
Oh, wow. I gotta have another sip. It's tasty. I think for me, I want a little bit more of that raspberry.
Fake raspberry.
It's not. I don't think it's fake raspberry. I don't know if they're putting fake raspberries in there.
I don't think they're putting fake raspberries in there, but I think, and this is my problem, I understand. I'm getting a fruited flavor like that, plus alcohol. It's making me remember staying home on Wednesday afternoon, watching The Price is Right, getting high off of NyQuil, and just watching Paul Barker yell at people.
Well, I'm going to give this a 4.5 in response to that. It's tasty. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm chasing that dragon dream from 2020. But there's more to come. We've got 2022. Second to last beer, 2022. This was just last year's release. Should still be fresh. Now, I forgot to bring this up, and Mary, you've talked about how different these beers are. While you're smelling that, you're getting crazy faces over there. There have been master brewer switches at Bottle Logic. I believe we have 3 different eras, if you will, of brewers. There was a brewer who brewed these. There was a brewer who brewed 2019 and 2020, and I believe since 2021, they've had a new brewer at Bottle Logic, I think. There has been a few switches over the years.
So, but if the recipe's the same,
recipe is not the same always necessarily.
Okay, but you can't just say this is Jam the Radar, but the master brewer could do whatever the fuck he wants. Like,
They changed little things here and there. That's why you have such a big difference between 2017 and 2021.
I don't get
They've
that.
tweaked things over the years in the recipe. The base is the same, so they make Dark Star November. But then, how much raspberry are we going to add? What kind of raspberry are we going to add? What kind of cacao nibs are we going to add? From what region are cacao nibs from? You could do what we did with Fundamental Coordinates if they released a whole bunch of beers with different cacao nibs from around the world. They're going to taste different.
I guess that makes sense. Like a chef. Like, I make fettuccine alfredo differently than you make fettuccine alfredo. Because you don't even make it, because you hate it. This smells like so much raspberry.
Really?
Yeah.
It should. It's the second most fresh bottle we have.
A lot of that fake shit.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of that good that you like.
I get a little bit of raspberry, but I get a lot of wood from here. Those woody notes.
No, I get a lot of raspberry. You're wrong.
A little bit of leather. I wouldn't say so much raspberry because 2017 has the most raspberry bar none. Smell that again. Now smell this again. Now look at
That's
me.
more fake.
Now look at you. Now look back at me. This has a little bit chocolate, like a little bit more chocolate than 2017. But I think 2017 has a lot more raspberry in there for sure.
I think that 2017, I know I keep saying that 2017 is the fake raspberry, but that raspberry smells more natural or not fake than 2021.
Yeah, 2017, 2018 definitely smell the most raspberry out of all of them smelled so far. And I feel like there's a definite switch.
Yeah.
Flip.
I don't get raspberry in 2018, 2020, or 2021.
2017, I get raspberry. This one I get a little bit.
Oh, you're right. No, because I get raspberry in 2018, but I don't taste it. Yeah.
But go ahead and taste 2022.
Nope. Oh yeah, 2022. We're in 2023 now.
We're also 5 beers in.
Pleasant. I was expecting a lot of the cough syrupy fake raspberry, and it's not as fake as I was expecting it to be. Not fake at all.
This is
Raspberry.
reminding me of this is everything Bottle Logic has become. This is a solid stout. There's a little bit of chocolate in there. A little bit of raspberry. Not as much as I would want, but it's there enough to be like, hey, this is Jam the Radar.
I think that there's a lot of raspberry at the very beginning, and then it goes into a Bottle Logic stout.
I get my raspberry towards the end.
No, this is good. You're wrong.
Like a sweet, almost a little bit of sourness towards the end. It's really good.
I think that this is a 14 point. It's a little less than 2020 and 2021. This is a 14.32.
Have an answer?
I guess. No, it's 13s. It's in the 13s. It's in the 13s.
This is a 13 even alcohol.
Damn it!
They went way down. They kicked it way back.
I could tell by his face, not by my palate. That's why I said it was in the 13s.
To me, I can taste the difference between this smoothness and these two as far as the alcohol really hitting your palate.
I knew that it was less. I didn't think it was that much less. And then when you looked at me like
That's why
that,
I had forgotten it was
Okay.
13.
I think that this is the best yet. I know I gave 2020 a 4.7. I gave 2020 a
21.
Oh yeah, I gave 2021 a 4.75, but I think I'm gonna give this one a 5. I'm getting the raspberry, and I'm getting the barrel aged stout from Bottle Logic. I really like it.
I agree with you on everything except for the rating. I'm gonna give this a 4.75.
I gave it a 4.75.
I'm gonna give it a 5.
Oh, I gave it a 5.
Oh my god! We're drunk, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of big stouts here.
I'm not drunk. I gave it a 5. I gave it a 5.
I'm gonna give it a 4.75. Only because I have in my head of what 2020 was when I first tasted this beer.
But that's not fair.
It doesn't matter.
We're doing a vertical.
That's
no.
my 5 for me when I go into Tasting Jam the Radars. That's my 5. That's what I'll always be looking for again.
You can't do that.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
And we're on to 2023. At last we meet again, for the first time, for the last time. This year's iteration of Jam the Radar 2023.
I haven't had this yet, right? No, it just came out.
Right. This is the 7th batch of Jam the Radar, and we're about to find out if Mary thinks it's the best one yet. How's the nose, Mary?
It smells pretty sweet, like a raspberry. Yeah, I don't really get much else. It's very raspberry-y.
I get chocolate.
What?
A lot of milk chocolate.
Why do you always get chocolate? There's not always chocolate in stouts.
But chocolate malts that are used in stouts give off chocolate aroma. And this has cacao nibs as well as probably a chocolate malt. I don't get the raspberry sweetness in this that I've gotten in some of the others, especially those first two. A lot of milk chocolate in there for me. A lot of milk chocolate for me.
That's wild, I get raspberry in here. And this is reminding me a little bit of 2017.
That much?
A little bit.
I don't get any of that. That's so crazy.
It's reminding me of 2017 in the fact that it smells fake a little bit. It's going back to that cough syrupy fake raspberry. Like, it's not as smooth. It's not. I don't think it's going to be as smooth as 2021.
Okay.
I'm scared for this one. I'm gonna sip it.
All right. 2023, everybody. Our 6th and final Jam the Radar. This has been a crazy vertical.
It's really, really smooth when it's in your mouth, and then you swallow it. I get a little bit of the fakeness. I think that's just me, though. I do think that it's just me, my problem with fruited alcohol. Sometimes it tastes like cough syrup. But there's so much raspberry in here, I like it.
Oh, it's super fresh at the time we're doing this.
I love it. It's so much raspberry. It's good.
I wish the chocolate in the nose is the chocolate I get on the mouth, but it's different. They're different chocolates. And the raspberry in there is different than the other raspberries that we've had thus far. It's a more, dare I say, sweet forward raspberry.
Dare you say?
A little sweet more than tart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you said, a little. I would say this one is the most fake raspberry tasting out of them all.
2017 is, for sure.
Interesting.
And then this one is. But this is the first one that I'm getting a lot of chocolate with.
Fresh.
Yeah, so you've been getting chocolate, I feel like, with all of these.
And a lot of them, except for 27.
I haven't been getting chocolate in any of them. This is the first one I'm getting chocolate in.
Wow.
And we obviously really like it because it's almost gone.
They're all almost gone.
No. It's really good. I think I give it a 5 also. But for different reasons. I like just I'm so weird because I really like a fruited sour beer with a lot of raspberry in it. But with a stout, I just like the subtle taste of just a little bit of raspberry in it with more of a stout taste in it. And I think that's what 2021 or 2022 was for me. Sorry, 2022 was for me.
The aftertaste on this, super good chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a lot of chocolate on the aftertaste on this. I agree with you on this one. I'm going to give it a 4.75 because while I like that I have chocolate and I have raspberry, and there's plenty of both, I want more of a natural tasting raspberry. This one for me, there's almost too much sweetness to it, and I wish it was a little more dialed down. I guess maybe a little less raspberry. I don't know. That first one I had was chocolate dipped raspberry, like to a T, like a chocolate raspberry candy or something. And I have yet to have one that really replaces that in my mind.
The first time that you had Jam the Radar ever. You can't compare to that time. We're doing a vertical now, not in 2020. This is also less alcohol than 2022. It is a 13.5. 13.50.
You are correct. This is 13.50.
No!
I'll have you remember that this is not less than 2022. 2022 was 13%.
No. What?
Yeah. So it's a little more, and you got it right!
Well, okay, friends, at this point, we're 6 beers in, and they were all more than 13%, so...
I think the consensus is the most fresh one is the best. They all do say, or at least back when they used to put them on the label, drink fresh.
I don't think that's true.
Alright, so at the end of it all, we have a tie between 23 and 22, our two most fresh beers. You gave each of them a 5. I gave them both a 4.75. They're really tasty. It's hard to go wrong with a fresh Jam the Radar. Based on what we've seen, about a year, maybe 2 is as much as you want to age your Jam the Radar. But that being said, it had different brewers, so the different ingredients, the different recipes is going to change how it ages. I mean, 2020 was such a banger for me when it first came out, but now it's just a chocolate. No more raspberry. Whereas 2017 is like a raspberry syrup almost.
Well, I think it also depends on what you're expecting too. Like, I think I kind of came into this thinking, okay, I need all the raspberry. But then when I tasted 2022, I'm like, oh, I like a subtle raspberry, because raspberry is my favorite berry. I love raspberries, but in a stout, maybe I don't need a punch to the face with raspberry. I just need a subtle,
Just a little bit.
subtle stout raspberry flavor. And I think that if you want a lot of raspberry, go for 2023, obviously, because it's the freshest and it's going to have the most raspberry in it.
And it'll be available.
But it just depends on, what your taste is. Everybody's different. It's just our opinion.
I am so happy we got to do this on Valentine's Day. This has been a lot of fun. It's something that I've been wanting to do since I first got into craft beer back in late 2019, early 2020.
You wanted to do a vertical with me?
Just in general, vertical. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's with you, makes it even better.
I thought you were going to propose or something. Shit. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
But yeah, this was a lot of fun. We have a lot more planned in the future. There's more verticals we can do. Will they be this wide and expansive? Probably not. But it was interesting.
It was fun. It was fun to taste all the raspberries and the non-raspberries. Looking at you too.
That's going to do it for today's beer review. I hope you enjoyed it. We certainly did. If you like this kind of review, let us know down in the comments below. We appreciate the feedback. Subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, it'll let you know when we upload new videos. If you don't want to miss the next one, we got a lot of fun stuff coming out. But until next we meet, we're the Brew Matures, trying every beer from around the world. One sip at a time!